Hey, shalom, shalom, brothers. This brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders on the true front from GMS. Blessings to Aki, my dear, preaching his word, a whole true sincerity. Blessings to 144,000. The one-third entirely, the first fruits kingdom of heaven, house of David, the Biyaf Dabadah. And shalom to you brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. Also, Shabbat shalom to you, brothers, as well. We in the Shabbat. So through the spirit, man, I want to just, pretty much land back off of camp. I tend to do that from time to time. But the spirit has me to, to get in, the land back. And then what we going into is, Babylon, how Babylon, is going to be destroyed, through the Lord's indignation, which indignation means righteous anger. And, I just was going to make this, short and sweet, get to my point. And, through the scriptures, prove and show that, that this place has to go, man. This is spiritually Babylon, spiritually Egypt all over again, which we call America. And this place has been full of wickedness, and the sins have reached up to the heavens, man. So because of that, this place has to be, has to be brought down, like all the prophets of old had prophesied about. That's why we bring out Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets before me and before old prophesied against many countries, against kingdoms, and of wars, pestilence, and roughly paraphrasing. So, we just come back in our lot, and now this is the next and last kingdom, and the rulership of Esau, where brothers again, the prophets are subject to the prophets. They're prophesying the downfall of the wicked kingdom, and so as we prophesy through the Rakak Wadash, through Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, boom. And then after we speak it, the Lord puts his stamp on it and applies to action. Rightfully so. So, but with that righteous indignation, what the Lord's going to do is he's going to use, he's going to use, because what they call him, the Lord of Hosts, and Lord of Hosts means, Lord of Armies, and a major part of his armies is those ICBM missiles that's going to come in a battle array. So I like that in what's that in let me see. Let me go to I had a couple already lined up, but I actually want to go to Jeremiah for a second, because in Jeremiah, I believe it's 50 and like 14. It says let me see something. All right, so I can read this one right here. It says Jeremiah 50 and 13 and going to 14. 14 is the point, which is my favorite one. It says because of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, it shall not be inhabited. I'm talking about Babylon. But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Right? It's going to be so bad out over here after those ICBM missiles hit, that people are going to be seeing it probably on TV or whatever, and it's going to be, people are going to be like, basically what it's going into, hiss at all her plagues and being astonished. If you look at it from a Jake perspective, it's going to be like, damn, like, ooh, that place got crazy hit. Like, it's going to be something in that, along those lines. It's going to be something that you're going to probably put some fear in your heart, obviously, but also it's going to be like, kind of like a, ooh, like that. And it says, put yourselves, here we go, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And arrows, and today's arrows are those ICBM missiles. It's pretty interesting how they have a point still, and they also are in a long, stick concept or perspective. And instead of instead of a human actually pulling a string back and letting it fly, it's actually going to be, a thrust system goes in. Joel goes into it too, which I'll bring that out. But they're going to go to and fro from the ends of the earth all the way to Babylon, man, to do some major destruction, and that's going to be the Lord's army. You know what I mean? Because what it says in 50 and 25, it says Yahweh Shem Yahshua have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh Shem Yahshua of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Right. And that's exactly, in the land of the Chaldeans is Babylon, man, so-called America. And it says, in fact, let me start from 22. If my brother Ariel was right here, he would tell me to go up. So I'm definitely going to do that, and I can see why I need to. Jeremiah 50:22. Sound of battle is in the land and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right. And how that's going to happen is going to be the utter destruction of the ICBM missiles shot at one time. Remember, the scripture says, spare no arrows, meaning anything that you have in your arsenal, empty the clip is what it's saying. It's being there. The Lord gonna put a spirit on all nations to empty the clip. And it says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The Lord has opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Now, this is a good one. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, and let nothing of her be left. Right. And remember, there's just this new, I'm not sure if it was China or Russia, came out with a new ICBM missile called, I believe is now called Satan 2 now. Let me see if I can actually pull that up actually. Satan 2 ICBM. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, so Putin rallies his Satan 2 nuclear saber to hide Russian failures in Ukraine war analysts. Okay, so if I go to, okay, so this must be it right here. So if I go to the images, this must be the brand new, what you call Satan 2. If Russia is Satan 2, okay, let's click on this, and there it is. I guess that's it. Must be the brand new one, and apparently there it is. So that's called the Satan 2, and I think they were also talking about, me and the brothers yesterday was getting into, I learned about what you called, what's that called? Potential energy and kinetic energy. And so it turns out potential energy is something that pretty much needs an explosion or so to cause damage, where kinetic energy's power is kinetic energy's power is governed by motion. So like when something is falling, and as it gains acceleration, the more power it consumes and causes more of a damage. Basically, that's pretty much how that works. So back to the scriptures. These ICBM missiles are going to destroy, and we already know what these ICBM missiles can do. We see it on movies. We've seen the old war, 1940s, 50s, 60s, I believe 70s, when they was testing them out in the oceans and under the ground. We have understanding on, animations, depictions, all different around. We know what these things can do. Plus, we also can pull the footage of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When that happened, and I believe was that the Vietnam War, or believe that, because we lost that battle. So, well, not we, but America lost that battle. So that's the reason why they had to take such measures, and that right there is how they actually got power. It shook fear. It was 1044 too, and it shook fear into all the people. You know what I mean? So Jeremiah 50, 51, they're all pretty much like it gets into it. I had specific scriptures that I wanted to bring out through the Spirit. It says, let me see, Isaiah 13, 4, 5, and I'm gonna go to 6, 7. I even go to 8. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What is that? Isaiah speaks about this right now, and also who else? Joel goes into the exact same situation. Who is this? And who is this? Who is this they? They come from afar. It's talking about those ICBM missiles. You know what I mean? It's going to be so many of them that there's going to look like an army in the sky. You know, when you look at like a lot of war stories, a lot of war shows or war movies, you ever notice how a lot of armies are like on like a downhill perspective? They're at the lower part of the hill, and when the other army is coming, they all come from the top of the hill. You can see them like start to show themselves, and then what they do is when they charge down the hill, it's a big giant army running down the hill getting ready to attack. And the way that looks is what you would call like a battle array, right? As a matter of fact, let me go up a battle array. Right, there we go. There we go. Is what I'm looking for. So I was right. A battle array, right? So like a formation, basically. Boom, here we go. This is a battle array. Beautiful. So I was spot on. There we go. Here's battle array right there. You know what I'm saying? You can see a battle array is for like a formation. Battle lines are drawn. See? So you got the armies on this side lined up, and that army on that side lined up in a battle array, right? And so that's how this is going to look whenever all those ICBM missiles start coming from the ends of the earth and they start coming down to hit Babylon. There's going to be so many in the sky. They're going to be in battle array. Not to mention the spirit of the Lord is going to be on those missiles, so they're not going to be able to mess up. So I'm going to get that in Joel 2. I'm going to finish that off with that. But that's what a battle array is. There's going to be so many of them that it's just going to be like, it's going to be in a battle array. It's going to be like missiles coming like, wow, like that is just like when you see them, it's just going to be so many of them. It's going to be ridiculous. And it says, let's go to Isaiah 13:6. It says, how ye, for the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. That's going to be a very, very fearful sight. That's not going to be a good thing to see, man. It's going to be really tough to really swallow. And it says, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another, and their faces shall be as flame. They're going to be scared as hell. And it says, behold, the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua cometh cruel, both with wrath and a fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Matter of fact, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And that's because those mushroom clouds are going to be, when they come down and they cause the mushroom clouds, there's going to be so many of them that when it goes up, it's going to block the sun out, man. It's going to be really dark. It's going to be really dark by the time all is done. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that's getting into. So it's going to be a really, really terrible time. And Lord willing, I could be, beamed up and watching this down from a chariot view, man. Hey, it's crazy. But let me end this with Joel. Joel, to me, he does a really great job of describing how this day of the Lord is going to be. And also he goes into an army. See, I've seen another camp break this down before, where they broke it down like this Israelites with spiritual power coming down, and it's not. What it's talking about is this battle array that I'm talking about through the scriptures of these ICBM missiles coming in the sky at one time. It's going to be so many of them that's going to look like a battle array. And Joel goes into it too as well, like Isaiah did, but in a little bit more in detail. It says, Joel 2, start at the top. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua cometh, for it is nigh at hand. It says, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, and as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right? Because the reason why it's saying that is because, remember, the Lord says, spare no arrows. But remember, in Isaiah 54:16, it say he created the smith to blow the coals of the fire and made the waster to destroy, roughly paraphrasing. Well, you gotta remember, what the Lord is saying is, he put the knowledge and the spirit in these scientists to make these crazy weapons for his indignation. So actually, he made them design the weapons for their own destruction. It's kind of crazy to say that, but that's what it is. Now, even though they have that, the Lord got a reserve where that army of battle array that they're going to see with pangs and sorrows, and their faces shall be as flames. Remember, it says spare no arrows. So that battle, that one army of missiles is going to take just one army of missiles, and it's going to be one, you'd be like, charge. It's going to be one charge, one shot, one kill from every missile that's ever created. And then once all the missiles are destroyed, there will never be an ICBM missile army ever again after that, because they're going to all be used for that one purpose, and then that's it. No more ICBM missiles ever again, like it says, for even to many years of many generations. That's going into. Now, here's Joel describing ICBM missile, which is incredible because this is written over 2,000 years ago, and Joel did his best to describe these missiles, and he did a really good job. He said, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Now, when you look at I can go to this. I'm just gonna put in. This is what he's looking at. ICBM missile. Okay, boom. So let me just. Okay, cool. So I could just choose one at this point. Okay, so it doesn't matter at this point. Let's just go at. It's all the same. Yeah, I'll just rock with, I'll just do. Let's just do this one. Okay, cool. Even better. Okay. Boom. I like this one. Okay, so it's all working out. So now if I take the screen and I'm going to split screen this, and what was that? I was just in the scriptures. So okay, right here. So it says, a fire devoured before them, right? And this fire is pointing to the warhead in the front, where the actual warheads are in the tip of the actual missile. And it says, and behind them a flame burneth. And behind them right there is the projection system, the fire coming out, so it can be able to soar and go to the speed that it needs to go in order to go to hit its target. That's what he's looking at. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, right? Because everything is civilized. There's houses, there's trees, there's people walking around, there's animals and flowers and, mansions and all type of things. Cities are built, skyscrapers, the lights, and Las Vegas. Everything is in place. Everything looks beautiful. When you look at it, it's as if the Garden of Eden, right? And it says, behind them a desolate wilderness, yeah, and nothing shall escape them, right? So what it's saying is, it's a Garden of Eden before it lands, but when it does hit, now it becomes as a desolate wilderness, because it'll destroy everything in its path, cause a crazy wind and radiation, and burn everything up. So that is basically a wilderness at that point. And it says, the appearance of them is at the appearance of horses, and as a horseman, so shall they run. That's twofold. One, horseman is going into horses is going into power. Everything in the scriptures, chariots or horses are the same, but it goes into how powerful they are. Like when you look at a Corvette or a Lamborghini, you go, how many horsepower is in there? And they go, oh, this is 600 horsepower in general. So it's equivalent to 600 horses, which is a very powerful situation, right? And it says, and as horsemen, so shall they run, right? Because remember, I was saying, like in a battle array, I remember when you see like two armies at a distance, what are they using as they're running towards each other? They're running on horses, like horsemen, So it's like, it's basically, it's describing it like when you see the missiles coming, they're running down, they're flying down, like how you see horsemen come down in the battle array when they go charge. That's why it says horsemen. And it says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains, so shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. There we go again. Right. So they, as they start coming, I'm telling, like I keep saying it, they're going to be all in a line, and they're going to be coming like, each of my fingers are missiles. So they're going to be coming like this, and it's going to be like in a battle array as they come down. It's going to be, it's going to look beautiful at the same time. Lord willing, I could be in the chariot watching this shit. And it says, before their face the people shall be much pained, and all faces shall gather blackness. Just like Isaiah was saying, they're going to be scared as shit when they see it, or just be like straight like, oh shit, like, oh wow, is this about to happen? You know what I mean? It says, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right. So yeah, I mean, an ICBM missile was mighty within its own self. You can see it's really huge. Now it breaks apart in the atmosphere, as far as so that way it got its whole little, the very tip of it has its own little propulsion system as well to hit exactly at the mark that it needs to hit. And the Lord, like I said, created the Smiths in Isaiah 54:16, where the technology they got, GPS, and the way they got it, heat seeking to where it need to go, or not necessarily heat seeking, but like just like, they have a right target. You know what I'm saying? Remember, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be in these things, so they're not. And that's what it says. And they shall not break their ranks. Right? They're not going to go off. They're not going to mess up or anything like that. As soon as the Lord have the order to shoot these missiles, they're going to go specifically the correct destination they got to go, and they're not going to break their rank and do something else. It's going to be perfect. And it says, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Right? Because what's going on is, mind you, there's going to be a lot of them. This is what I perceive. It's going to be a whole lot of them, so that way even some might be looking like super side by side, but hey, the Lord said he's not going to break their rank, and they're going to walk everyone his path, and ain't going to be no mistakes or no mishaps. Ain't going to be like, oh, one messed up and blew up in the sky and then missed his target, never made it there. No, it's not going to happen. And also it says, and when they fall upon a sword, they shall not be wounded, because we got to remember, there's a lot of countries with defense systems. They're prepared for missiles that come, and so they can be able to shoot it down before they destroy their land. But in this case scenario, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be in these, the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be in these missiles, and they're not going to be wounded. So there's no defense system or anything that's going to be that any nation has to defend themselves. It's going to be for naught. And it says, they shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb up upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Yeah, because when it blows up and it causes that great destruction, that fire going to separate. It's going to be ramming through buildings and houses and cars, and it's going to just disintegrate people in an instant and just be utter destroyed. Like, it's, yo. And I'm gonna say this. If brothers can look it up, you should see like the animation of how a nuclear bomb does, and the blast radiuses, and what happens in certain, miles out. Shoot, man, look. It's a mercy kill, vainly speaking. They ain't good nowhere. It ain't good no way around at all, but it's considered a mercy kill for me if you got hit directly by it. Like, if you was hit directly by a nuke, you let alone probably didn't feel nothing. Now, if the Lord got it set up where you're going to feel it, then you're going to feel it. But I'm just saying, according to how nuclear weapons work, if you get hit at the actual blast hit, like you like a mile or a couple feet, or 5 blocks away, anybody in that little bracket or so is going to be instantly obliterated. Like, just like you mess around, be given some cash, or you mess around, be about to wave your hand to go buy some with that chip, and before you know it, it said beep, and then you just go and you just destroy it. That's pretty much, if you gonna go out, man, no, if you a heathen 2/3, ain't nothing you can say about Lord willing. But then again, maybe you could say Lord willing, you go down like that one. But the ones outside that certain blast radius where they just walking and then they flesh just start burning out of nowhere, and it start being on some, like, it just start disintegrating the air. Even the air starts being on fire. Oh man, you go through that part. Yeah, that's gonna be the one. And then like slightly behind that, it's gonna be like radiation and can't breathe and all. Yo, it's gonna be bad. Not to mention, I don't even know how far out you gonna be able to get, because you gotta remember, it ain't just one nuke, it's a bunch of them. So if that won't blow up right there, there's probably another one that's gonna blow up, probably a football field away from the last one, and then a football field from that distance, and then 50 meters from that way. It's gonna just be missiles all around, just blowing up everywhere. Like, that's why I said there is no escape. That's what it's saying. There is no escape. So, sheesh. It says 10. It says the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of smoke and a lot of debris, and those missiles cause mushroom clouds that can block the sun out. That dark, thick cloud that we're talking about. Yeah, it definitely it's definitely a bad thing. I'm gonna end off at 11. And Yahweh Shemel Shah shall utter his voice before his army, right? Because these missiles coming in that battle array is the Lord's army. And for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of Yahweh Shemel Shah is great and very terrible. Who can abide it? Nobody. That's why I said nobody can escape that, man. So Lord willing, man, shoot, man, you a part of that beam up. You get beamed up, man, get them changed bodies, and you get to see the destruction of your enemies, man. Hey, that's salvation, and hey, that's just going to be the beginning of the kingdom. And shoot, the beginning of the kingdom, for real, when I look at it, man, is able to see the destruction of Babylon. That's the first step for me. You get beamed up, changed body, and you get to sit there front view of destruction of Babylon, man. And then we get to come down, and then it's just more. Then we gather up the heathen. Oh man, that's beautiful. Spiritual bodies, rolling with a rod of iron. Can't nobody stop us. It's just like game over. That's checkmate for your ass, man. I brought this Lord willing, is edifying to you, brothers, man. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, and Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders on the truth of GMS. Blessings to the Aki Madera preaching his word with heart, true sincerity. Blessings to the 144,000 and 1/3 entirely. The first fruits kingdom of heaven. Nasa David, the Biaf Dawadah. And shalom to you, brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers.